This video is extremely important for anyone with social anxiety. And the reason being is that what I share here is nowhere on YouTube. And funny enough, it was the one thing that helped me the most with my social anxiety, but also that of my clients. Whenever I see someone with social anxiety, they usually really lack in what I call insight. Insight in social anxiety, although it's not the hardest disorder in the world, there are borderline, there are bipolars, there are worse disorders, but insight in social anxiety is one of the worst amongst any mental health disorder. Now, what is low insight? Insight means that you know that your disorder is a lie, because every disorder is a form of a lie. So it essentially means that you do not believe what your disorder tells you. More specifically, good insight in a mental health disorder means that you view your mental health disorder as what we call ego dystonic, meaning as separate from you. Bad insight, however, is the exact opposite, where you view your disorder as one with you, including all the patterns of your disorder, all the thoughts that it's given you, and all the emotions or physical sensations that it's given you as well. In a psychotherapeutic lingo, we call this ego syntonicity. So the goal of every disorder really is to make itself ego syntonic. Syntonic means in harmony with, and ego means I. So every disorder lie starts with it making you believe that you are it. And we can see that with anorexia, for example, where people are like, oh, no, you don't get me. I really want to get down to 50 kilos. And then you see them next time, oh, you don't get me. I really want to get down to 40 kilos. And they think that they want to get down to that weight, not realizing it's not them who is causing these thoughts. Now, same thing is true with your social anxiety. Now, social anxiety is one of the worst disorders when it comes to this, because it really makes you believe that you are the problem, that you are a loser, that you are being anxious, and it totally disguises itself and you don't even see it. So while people with OCD, for example, often realize that they live with a monster that wants to eat their life away, and that kind of makes them angry and energized to fight with it, people with social anxiety often don't realize the same thing. And so I believe the first step in treatment of every social anxiety, and I'm saying this as a former social anxiety sufferer myself, should be to increase your insight. You really should work hard at changing the ego syntonicity of your disorder into ego dystonicity. Because unless you do that, you will likely not have the healthy anger that will energize you to battle this thing. What's worse, you will also likely create depression. Social anxiety and depression are two best friends. Why? Because the minute your social anxiety can make you believe that it's your fault, you may start feeling hopeless. And hopelessness is one of the hallmarks of depression. And what do we know about people with depression? People with depression rarely take action. They like to do what's called duvet dive. They just like to lay in their bed, dive in there, and stay in there. So the best strategy of your social anxiety is to convince you that it doesn't even exist, and then team up with depression and make you just waste your life away. The first thing that you should do in order to increase ego dystonicity and insight with social anxiety is to catch yourself whenever you think ego syntonic thoughts, such as, I don't want to socialize now because I just don't feel like it. Whenever you catch yourself having thoughts like this, just catch yourself, realize the ego syntonicity of these thoughts, the trick that your social anxiety is playing on you, and then just switch those into more ego dystonic thoughts. So an example could be, I don't really feel like socializing today. I'm always anxious in front of people. They notice it. I don't want to go there. And switching this into, my social anxiety doesn't want me to go there. Or if you want an even extra level, I used to call myself, I decide to succumb to my social anxiety now, and I'm just not going there. By which I acknowledge my free choice, and that it's not just set in stone, that I'm anxious, that I'm shy, but I recognize the ego dystonic nature here. Here's me, here's my social anxiety. It doesn't want me to go there. It's telling me lies, but I now really, it's too much of a challenge for me. So I succumbed to it now, which over time I was like, I don't want to succumb to it anymore. So this is the first step in creating dystonicity. And in your brain, you have a center called reticular activating system, which is a center that literally believes in what you already believe in. So let's say that you already believe that you're a loser, shy, anxious, and that this is just you. Well, your brain will literally block out all the counter arguments to this, and it will prove you with proofs why you really are a loser and a social basket case. So if you start changing your monologue like this day by day, and it may take you months, over time, your reticular activation system, you can imagine it like some light, it's going to shift and it's going to start shining light on this new truth that, hey, this is not me. It's a disorder and I can fight that disorder. And you're going to feel separated from it. And my new thoughts naturally now, as a person who went through social anxiety, are, hey, yeah, I can go there. I can socialize. I'm worthy, And it will just shift like this, but you gotta shift your mental monologue every single day. The second thing that you should do is to write down everything that social anxiety took away from you. Because although it's not the worst mental health disorder on the list, it's probably the biggest child killer. And I know this will sound absurd, but meditating on this really made me angry and awakened my inner warrior, which is an aspect of the psyche that's like, enough is enough. I gotta change this, and I will. And it was a realizing for me that, hey, people really don't have kids because of this. Like right now, I'm working with a client who broke up because of his social anxiety, and they were already talking about naming their children. And this is a tragedy, and two clients that put most tears into my eyes whenever I would think of them more closely were actually people with social anxiety. So although, I've had clients with bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, and people who want to kill themselves, who've been hospitalized, who've been on drugs, and you may say, well, social anxiety is not that bad. Actually, when you take a look at the consequences and the sadness of life that these people can have, the people who never really faced their social anxiety and who never beat it, it's really sad stories. It can bring tears into your eyes because you see that it's this monster, but these people, they never realize that it is this monster, and they instead think that they're just not good enough, that they can't socialize, that they're just anxious by nature and they're just weird and they don't want others to see their weirdness. So really what I want to make you do is write an essay, or it can be just a paragraph, about all the things that social anxiety took away from you in your life. And this should really wake up this inner warrior in you, this healthy anger in you, that's going to be like, enough is enough. Because anger is an emotion that is helping you to set boundaries with people, with disorders, with whatever. It just says, hey, not this anymore. And you cannot have any anger if your anxiety is egocentric. If you think it's just a chemical imbalance in the brain, if you think it's just you who does it, which is even worse, you're just like someone with cancer who would just be like, oh, it's all my fault. I'm such a stupid person. I caused this on myself. It's going to be very hard to bounce back from cancer. And most successful cancer survivors that you hear speak, they say things like, oh, I beat my cancer, or I will beat this thing. And that's exactly what you need with social anxiety, even more than with cancer. So write this paragraph down, write this essay down, and really put everything that it cost you, all the experiences, your life, just slowly going away, because life is about these small social experiences that we have. Those are one of the most meaningful things. And you may have none of those. And your kids, write it down. Like, social anxiety is a killer, maybe the biggest amongst all disorders of kids. So many of my clients didn't have kids because they broke up with someone because of social anxiety, or they were never with someone in the first place because of it. So write this down and let it fill you with healthy dose of anger, which, as I said, is an emotion that should energize you and prepare you to fight with something. Because if you want to beat social anxiety, you will have to fight. But it all starts with insight. If there's low insight, and if it's not ego dystonic for you, you will believe that the problem lies with you. You will likely have no inner warrior then awakened. So you will feel no healthy anger. You will feel no energy to do something with this. and your attempts to change this are going to be very shallow. But if you truly want to change this, your attempts have to go really deep. You really got to work on this. You really got to go into these social events and situations that you don't want to go into. And the only way there is to awaken your insight first. That's going to help to awaken your inner warrior. And then you can take your life back from this thing. So I hope you guys understood this video. I hope you will implement these 2 strategies that I shared with you for bigger insight. And if you like this video, please leave a comment down below or leave me a thumbs up. And click on the subscribe button if you don't want to miss further videos on mental health. And if you want more videos on social anxiety, just let me know. And I can make those because there's a lot to talk about in this topic. Have a good one, guys, and see you later. Peace.